Hello. So imagine a land with over 450 years of colonial rule, a population yearning for freedom and a swift military operations that liberated it all in just 36 hours. Sound like a gripping tale, doesn't it? Well, that's the story of Goa Liberation Day, which we celebrate on 19th of December every year. So, welcome to the Legacy IAS YouTube channel, where we break down the history, governance, and current affairs for everyone, not just for the UPSC aspirants, but anyone who is curious about India's incredible journey. So, today is 19th December, and on this day, 1961, Goa, Daman, and Diu, they were freed from the Portuguese colonial rule, finally becoming an integral part of India. So stick with us as we explore the Portuguese conquest of Goa, India's diplomatic and military effort to reclaim it, and the incredible story of this Operation Vijay. So this is more than just history. It is a story of resilience and unity. So let's dive in. Clear? So now we are going to cover this Goa Liberation Day story. So first important thing that we need to understand here is कि Goa Liberation Day we celebrate on 19th of December every year. So if we see the location, so we are celebrating for this. This is the Goa in the Indian map, and this is Daman and Diu and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. These were the areas they were under control of the Portuguese. We will understand how this happened, especially at that time. So if you visit Goa, then you can see these are the colonies. They are considered as Portuguese colonies. If you visit in Goa, so these type of house they will be visible to you also if ever you visited there. So now, if you again see the pictures, this is old picture when Goa was completely under control of Portuguese. At that time, you can read this is written Portuguese territory. They have mentioned here it also. So now, if we move further, for example, what was the route of this Portuguese exploration? If we check it, so this route is coming from, this is the Portuguese, for example, correct, and Portugal जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं, they were actually coming from this to, this is African continent. They were coming from this area to end यहाँ से Cape of Good Hope and they are entering into this area. If you see this Vasco da Gama, so Vasco da Gama का जो initial contact था, that was also in this route only, that is coming from Portuguese, that is Portugal, and coming from this way and this Cape of Good Hope and this Madagascar in between, and then land in the Calicut, correct. So this route Vasco da Gama has chosen just to avoid the traditional traders, that is Arabians traders though they want to avoid this route, correct. Earlier actually they used to come by this route only, but this is the route that completely sea route that was basically discovered by the Vasco da Gama. So that is what Vasco da Gama's 1498 journey tha. This was the first significant contact between Portugal and India occurred when Vasco da Gama reached basically Calicut at the Malabar coast, correct. And this was basically the first direct sea route to India, bypassing the traditional land route dominated by the Arab traders. This is the story, if you are able to understand, correct. So on this 19th December 1961, we already know this Goa, Daman and Diu, they were liberated after Operation Vijay, making the end of this Portuguese rule and their integration into Indian Republic. So it was not just about the reclaiming territory, it was about the reclaiming a part of India's heart and history. And this liberation was achieved after 451 years of colonial dominations. So see, did you know that Goa was still under colonial rule even after India's independence in 1947? Let us know in the comment if this surprised you. So now if we move further, for example, so though India's independence and Goa that I told you, India got independence in 1947, but Goa got independent only in, for example, 1961. So before that, we need to understand how Goa was conquered basically in 1510, that is 1510. So to understand liberations, we must first understand the colonization. So in 1510, that is, for example, in 1510, that is 1510, Portuguese governor Afonso, one Portuguese governor was there, that Afonso D. Correct? This was the Portuguese governor. Correct? Agar correct, again you can write the name Afonso D. Correct? This. With the support of local leaders Timoji, with the support of local leader Timoji, correct, captured Goa from Adil Shahi Sultanate. So the conquest faced minimal resistance and Goa soon became the capital of Portuguese India, a hub for administration and commerce for over 400 years. But the story did not end with the colonial rule, it sparked the centuries of resistance. So, fast forward to 15th August 1947, India celebrated independence, but Goa was not free. Portuguese refused to relinquish control, citing Goa as part of their overseas empire. Diplomacy failed repeatedly and tensions simmered. So tensions, they were simmered basically. The question lingered, how long would Goa remain under foreign dominations in an independent India? So what would you have done if you were leading the country at that time? Let us know in the comment section. So now we are moving to one important operation that we call Operation Vijay. For example, so now we are moving to another, that is Operation Vijay. So this Operation Vijay, so now comes this climax, Operation Vijay. It was launched on 18th December 1961 and it was a 36 hours military operation. Correct? Only 36 hours. So this operation lasted only 36 hours, resulting in the liberation of Goa, Daman and Diu on 19th December 1961 only. Outcome क्या था इसका? Portuguese surrendered and the Indian flag was raised over Goa, marking its integration into India. So it was just a 36 hours military operations and Goa became the part of India in 1961 and the date was 19th December, that is today's date. So now what was this Operation Vijay? What was the road to military this action? So important that there was a one failed diplomacy was there. India's effort at peaceful negotiations, it was rejected by the Portuguese. Then one incident happened and that triggered the incident. That incident was this: on 24th November, that is this day, 24th November, that is 1961, Portuguese forces fired on an Indian passenger vessel, escalating the tensions. This was the trigger point basically. Like for example, you have seen in Indians independence history also, that was Rin mutiny that you covered in the modern Indian history. That mutiny lead to the India's independence from the Britishers. Same way on 24th November 1961, Portuguese actually forces they fired on an Indian passenger vessel and that escalating the tensions. And here actually Prime Minister at that time Jawaharlal Nehru declared Portuguese rule in Goa an impossibility on December 10, 1961. So he already made the mind that this Portuguese rule must go now. So India actually approached a three-pronged attack where we have land forces also, naval blockade also and air support also. All the three, they were basically working here. So land forces led by Major General basically KP Candate, attacking from multiple directions. A naval blockade by the Indian Navy neutralizing the Portuguese defenses. Air support from the Indian Air Force conducting various attacks in aiding the ground troops. So by 19th December, Portuguese Governor General at that time, he surrendered unconditionally and Indian flag was raised over the Goa. So did you know that Operation Vijay was one of the shortest Military campaigns in Indian history. Share your thoughts below. Now, what was the outcome? So Goa was placed under military administrations immediately after independence in 1961 until civilian government that began in June 1962 only. There was mixed international reactions, like for example, India got support from the USSR as usual, and Sri Lanka also supported, and criticism came from again as usual countries like USA and the UK. They viewed as an aggression against a sovereign nation. Sovereign kya tha? Because they were considering Portuguese as the European nations, they were supporting their own brothers. So abhi now, so today Goa stands as a vibrant state with a rich cultural and historical heritage. Now, if we check it, in 1963, basically, Goa Legislative Assemblies also came, and this Goa Legislative Assembly is a unique cameral legislative. That means only one house is there, that is Goa State Legislative Assembly, with total 40 constituencies right now. Correct? This is the case. So, Goa Legislative Assembly, it was established in 1963. It comprises 40 constituencies, reflecting the state's demographic strength. अब now we check कि टोटल कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी गोवा में कितना है 40 स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली में सीट्स हैं. रिजर्वेशन फॉर एससी एंड एसटी अराउंड 1.74% population in SC in Goa basically, so one seat is reserved there. Now demography अगर हम देखें तो in 2011 census approximately 1.4 million population was there, so that means 14 lakh populations. But currently if we project, it is 1.58 million population है currently if we check, so around 15 lakh population is there, so Goa population is less than even Delhi. Religious comparison अगर हम करें तो basically Goa diversity is evident in its mix basically of Hinduism, that is Hindu को मानने वाले 66%, that is majority religion है गोवा में 66% Hindu, Christianity 25% and Islam is around 8%, that symbolizing the unity in diversity. So Goa's story is a reminder of India's commitment to reclaiming its identity and heritage. So Goa's liberation is not just about a military operation, it's about the spirit of freedom and the sacrifice of countless individuals who believed in a unified India. So as we celebrate 19th December, let's honor the bravery of soldiers, the resilience of the people of Goa, and the vision of a free India. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Legacy IAS YouTube channel. Drop your thoughts or questions in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. Stay curious, stay motivated, and remember, history is not just about the past, it shapes the future. Jai Hind. Thank you.